Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of the Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you today. We're gonna have a topic today that I'm hoping is going to help some people make it through this situation, this journey called life that they're enduring. Hold on one second for me. There we go. Had to lift one of my cameras up a little bit. My camera was off a little bit, so I wanted to make sure that I had it right. We got to have this thing right for y'all. Not only are we representing ourselves, we're also representing the kingdom. And so that's the most important part of what we're doing. Now, phone line, let me go ahead and tell you the phone lines are open. 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. The phone lines are open. So if anybody want to call in and be a part of what we're talking about today, you are more than welcome. You are more than welcome to come in. And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm high and a happy, elephant lady, and porcupine proud to be in your midst on this day. I'm happy, high and a happy, elephant elated, and porcupine proud to be in your midst on this morning. So we're gonna talk about some things, and I need to know something. I got one question I'm gonna ask them when people come in, and I want to know what you think, what you all think about this as well. I've heard the term thrown all over the place, and I've gotten a lot of different definitions as to what it is. But I want to know what critical, what how you say this thing, critical race thinking or something like that. Y'all know the terminology. What exactly is that? Critical race theory. What is that? Critical race thinking. I guess that's what it's called. Critical race thinking. Tell me what that is. Somebody explain to me exactly what that is. Critical race theory. That's what it is. Critical race theory. What exactly is that? Somebody give me a call. 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. Give me a call and let me know what that is, because I've heard a lot of different definitions of it. And Leonard's going to be with us in a few minutes. He should be joining us in just a few minutes. And I know he do a lot based around that, and so he may be able to educate us on it as well. But I'm wondering, everybody that's out there, if any of you know what that is, critical race theory, what exactly is that? Y'all give me a call. 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. Give me a call and educate me as to what that is. Educate your brother. Educate your brother on what it is. Tell me what it is, because I'm not really clear, because I've heard a lot of different definitions, and a lot of people have said a lot of different things exactly about what it is. Is this, is that, is this, is that. And I've heard different, I guess it's based on who you're talking to, how they look at it, how they view it, or what they say it is. And so I've heard different definitions. So I want to hear from you. Give me a call. 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. Give me a call and let me know what this thing is. Critical race theory. And then now you got three different things there. Critical, we know what critical means. You're in dire straits. Critical race, we know what race is. But when you put that term theory in there, there's a theory. What theory are we talking about? What theory are we trying to, because there's so many different layers to this thing. But I want to know from you all, each and every one of you, what is critical race theory? What is it? What does it mean? What does it mean to you? Does it mean anything to you at all? Is it just some verbiage that people are putting out there right now just to fit a certain narrative as to what they want or what they want to say? What exactly is it? What is critical race theory? 678-38. Rico, you out there, brother? If you're out there, Rico, give me a call, brother. I know you know. I know you educated on this thing as well, Rico. Give us a call, man. Let me know what this thing is. What is critical race theory, Rico? See, a lot of y'all don't know. Rico does a lot behind the scenes. He do a lot behind the scenes and stuff like that, man. And so his brother worked with a lot of people too, and I'm sure he's encountered this whole situation about critical race theory. I want to know what it is. I want to educate me, educate my listeners. What exactly is critical race theory? What is it? And now another thing I want to talk about, this whole idea that a person has: fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it. I've seen people fake it until they make it, and they get too caught up in themselves, and in them in getting caught up in themselves. They think they've made it. They think they've absolutely made it. They think they're there. They don't have two nickels to rub together. Don't have two dirty nickels to rub together. Not even two clean nickels. They only have two dirty nickels to rub together. But they have this idea that they've made it. Fake it till they make it. And they go out there and they buy stuff and they present themselves in certain ways and don't even have money to pay their rent. I say rent because they're not even buying a home. They don't have money to pay their rent. So they're renting an apartment, maybe a house or something like that. And that goes all into this fake it till you make it. They want to drive the best of the best cars. They want to be layered out in the best and the fanciest of clothes. And they're out there trying to fake it until you make it. Trying to put this false narrative out there that you are, this false presentation of yourself, that you are that guy or you are that girl. And I've heard other girls say this. I've heard girls say this. I don't understand why they say this. They'll say it in a minute. I am that B. What? So you gonna call yourself the B word? And that's some kind of term. Captain Leonard, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem and the Morning Glow family.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Leonard, I need educate me, man. I got two things going on right now.
hmm
And one is educate me and our listeners. I learned critical race theory. What exactly is that?
Critical race theory was first a movement that started with, it used to be called CLS,
Mm-hmm.
critical legal studies, because it started off as a study of the disparaging treatment between African Americans and everyone else.
Okay.
And it was looked at by individuals in the legal community because, of course, it was very much evident that Black people were not being treated fairly.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it started off as critical legal studies, which then turned into critical race theory. A group of attorneys and things of that nature that were interested believed that race impact deserved the same amount of research and attention as any other theory.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the theory is based on a few tenets that involve race permanence in our society, because it wasn't that race was a huge issue in just the legal arena.
Mm-hmm.
This racial discrimination was across the board in health, uh, environmental,
Mm-hmm.
wherever there was an issue, race seemed to always play a part
Mm-hmm.
and contributed to the disparaging treatment between African Americans and everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And so then it further developed and say, hey, it's just not happening to Black people. It's minorities,
Mm-hmm.
specifically brown people.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And so critical race theory looks at it from the point of view, a couple of the basic tenets was race permanence, is that race is an issue across the board. It's
Mm-hmm.
in every part of our society now.
Okay.
Then you have the issue where racists have a othering process, which means that one, they are supreme and everyone else is other, them.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Mm-hmm.
how that was an issue on how people talk. What you mean, them people? See, when someone treats you as other, it's called an othering process. And by singling you out, a lot of them are able to try to justify the treatment.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing with it. Also, is that white people seem not to be interested in Black issues
Yeah.
unless those issues benefit them.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the only time it's considered, or where some people believe that races should work together only if
Mm.
it benefits white people.
Wow.
That's part of one of the. There's a couple more of them tenets of that theory as well.
Mm-hmm.
But all it is it's a look at how race divides our complete culture.
Let me ask you this question. We have Zadaria with us. I want to go to her as well. Um, I heard what you said, and I understand what you're saying. But you say it started out dealing with black people. It started
Yes.
out dealing with black people and inequality of black people. Why every time there's an agenda that's set up to help black people, before you know it, other people start being a part of it, and you stop concentrating on what you started there, and now you want to spread it out amongst everybody, and there's the very people that you started supposedly help get pushed to the wayside. Why does that happen so often?
Critical race theory is not just about one race.
But you say it started that.
Critical race theory it was started because of the issues plaguing the African Americans in the justice system. Because it's there.
Yeah.
It's like any other research you would do. It's like establishing any other theory. And these theories are put out there because they usually, the data supports them. There's more than enough data to draw conclusions and to make generalizations. It's not a one event or what have you. Or what black people fail to understand. You're not the only race. You're not. People are discriminated against based on color most of the time in these issues. It became a color issue because.
But isn't that and then please excuse me, brother. I got so many questions, so I'm gonna jump in every now and then. And certainly not to be rude, but my thing is this right here. It started off though, from what I'm hearing you say, it started off a certain way. It started off with them concentrating on the black issues. And somehow and I agree with you when you say we're not the only race. I absolutely. But my thing is, we are one of the ones that's at the bottom of the bottom, and we're the ones that may need a little more assistance. And so if something is geared toward helping us to get that assistance that we need, while other things while other races infiltrated and thrown in there, when we still haven't gotten the help that we need.
Well, first of all, that's not true. You're not on the bottom. There are several races of people that are despised just as much as black people.
I like to know who they were.
Ask an Asian, for instance. There's a whole body of work related to the discrimination of Asian Americans in the United States. But there's discrimination against everyone non-white.
But my thing is, I grant you that, absolutely. And I want to go to Sadari. We got another call, and I got to pull some more people into this conversation. But my thing is this: yes, and yes, that's true. But my thing is, didn't they just get a bill passed not too long ago when all this stuff started happening to them? They had a bill passed. When have we had a bill passed that's going to negate all the stuff that's happening to us? We haven't.
We have had several bills passed. Those bills were passed for us initially.
Again,
this is what critical race theory is about. Because if you would have lived on the West Coast, your idea of race discrimination would be very different. Because you would deal with an environment that had a lot more Asians in it, or what have you. Or you would have an issue where before, when it wasn't necessarily before you could pass because of the color of your skin, you have Italians and all these other people. However, they're not considered in this construct of race as brown people.
And my thing is, you know, me and you pretty close. We're very close, actually. You know that I lived in Hawaii for 4 years, and so I know a piece or a part of what you're talking about when you say that. But at the same time, let me, Sadario, good morning. How you doing this morning? Come, man, we're cute, man. It'll be 10:30, brother.
Good morning, you guys.
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing okay. I'm blessed to be in the land of the living.
Absolutely. Tell me, this critical race theory. What does that say to you?
Well, I don't fully understand it, but in
Mm-hmm.
just understanding the words itself, um, well, first of all, they're calling it a theory. So
Mm-hmm.
that in itself lets me know it's something that's not completed or or proven to work for whatever purpose that they're striving to get it to work for.
Mm-hmm.
That there may be some element of untruth. So, whenever you're dealing with a theory about something, it doesn't necessarily make it completely a truth. And of course, we know what's happening with the races are critical because of what we're seeing and so much um, violence and negative behavior. So if they're calling it, if there's a certain element that they see that they feel is creating this behavior, and so they're creating it as a theory. Well, we've been having this theory going on for years because we've always had critical race issues.
Mm-hmm.
They just surface more and more over the years because they're not addressed and dealt with appropriately. And then when the dust clears, then everybody kind of goes back to normal, the
Mm-hmm.
same way we're doing with COVID. We think the dust has cleared when it has not. So everybody's starting to go back to normal. So it's the same thing with, racism and, racism among all races. And as Leonard said, it's not just black people, you know,
Mm-hmm.
um, all races in some way have been um, treated with the lack of dignity or respect that a human being deserves,
But let
not
me ask
a
you, Victoria,
color.
let me ask you this: do we have the we get some feedback from your line, Victoria?
Oh,
Okay,
okay. I
let me
don't
see.
know why. I'm
Um, um,
just on a speaker.
yeah,
Could
that's
you?
what it is. Yeah, you're on speaker because we can hear our voice coming back through the speaker on the system. If you take it off speaker, that would definitely help out a lot.
Okay, just
But my thing is this right here. I'm gonna mute you until we get that. My thing is this right here. Do black people, and I don't want this to be an unfair question, do black people have a longevity, a history of being that person that has been mistreated and treated unjustly throughout majority of history? What do you say to that, Daria?
I would say so, but yeah, I would say so. We
Mm-hmm.
have a history, a long history of being mistreated um, in this country. Um, I can't speak for other countries where there
Mm-hmm.
are black people, but I know in the United States we have a very long history of being mistreated. Um, we have a very long history of being less than, disrespected,
Mm-hmm.
just not treated as a human being should be treated in so
Mm-hmm.
many cases.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the case of, you know, legalities, in the case of learning, in the case of communities, it's just a lot of things, a lot of boxes that we've been put into that we have fought and struggled to get out of besides slavery. So
Mm-hmm.
slavery was the beginning of the box or the
Mm-hmm.
larger box. But now there are smaller boxes that we are put in due to the fact that we are brown skinned people.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
yes, I think, our people have had a very long run of being someone's theory or being someone's less than. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and we as a people hope that it changes, but I think greater part of that problem today I can't say in the past, is that now we've been disrespected so long, we disrespect each other.
Mm-hmm.
We've been trained and taught to not trust each other. And
Mm-hmm.
then we fall prey to not being able to be trusted.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
we
Exactly.
recreate problem. Now we are the bigger problem in our community, I would
Mm-hmm.
say. Yes, there's
Mm-hmm.
still racism uh, with other nationalities or ethnicities, but this is just me personally believe that we are the greater problem in our community.
Good deal. Good deal. Let me go to Donald Tucson. Donald Tucson. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
All right. Yes.
Tell everybody
Yes, thank you.
who you are, brother, and where you're hailing from.
I'm from Louisiana, Louisiana, and I'm in Pascagoula, Mississippi.
Hey, what do you think?
Now, and it don't end with no.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What do you think about this critical race theory? What do you think about this critical race theory, Donald? What's on your heart?
That's new to me. Some things I don't pay no attention to.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I mean, really,
Mm-hmm.
because you know, if I don't know who said it, I forgot who said it, but until we're all free, none of us are free.
Mm-hmm. Martin Luther King. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So and then the thing about it is he wasn't, and the fight is not just for us.
Mm-hmm.
You just notice out here, they got some people, somebody's not at the door. They call poor white trash and they don't care for them either.
Mm-hmm.
So come back and we'll talk.
Let it talk to me, brother. The Donna hit hard, brother. The Donna hit hard.
Mhm.
What's on your heart? Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
Well, first of all, the popular notions of critical race theory are like the exact opposite on why it was created and why
Mm-hmm.
and how it's being used today. And especially in this latest discussion of critical race theory on the political front. Critical race theory is an intellectual movement. It is not about emotions.
Mm-hmm.
It is a actual scientific look at the effects of racism. It deals with the social construct of racism, not how you feel or your opinion. It's about what has been, how white people maintain power over people of color in education, wherever you can think of.
Mm-hmm.
That's critical race theory. And the theory cannot be refuted
Mm-hmm.
because of the data available on it. That's why theories are set up. The theory of evolution was great, and then it was challenged
Mm-hmm.
by other scientists who dedicated research in that field. Now, critical race theory is important because for the evidence that's available. So if I was to present this evidence in a group of educated individuals, what would their argument be against it? Can you look at that theory and say it's not true?
Mm-hmm.
See, it's not about the way it's being used today for popular. It's become popular because it's in the news. But this didn't start until the early 1970. It wasn't a body of work until 1970.
Mm-hmm.
No one had just dedicated research to it. You had some white folks who were still talking about ain't no racism. I don't see that. So people got together and said, I'm gonna show it to you. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show it to you in a way that you cannot deny it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, black people can say, oh yeah, race exists because they're on the victim side.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
oppressor is not going to admit it because they're on the
Exactly.
oppression side.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So the conversation is about they do not want things to be taught in public schools that actually tells the truth about this racial construct and how it has been used to support white supremacy.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they don't want it taught.
Mm-hmm.
Now, critical race theory, it deserves everything that's there. I've used critical race theories in my writings and things like that as well,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what I'm a critical race theorist. My background and my education and things like
What do you
that
say?
are based
What
on
do you
that.
say to the people? What do you say to the individuals that come in opposition to you and say it's something that doesn't exist? It's not real. It's just something that it's a fad. It's
Prove
something
it.
just. Mm-hmm.
I can prove what I say. You can't.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference. What I'm saying is true. And not only is it just true, I have data and everything else to support what I say. What data do you have?
Mm.
How, I mean, what have you looked at it at any other way but the way that you want to look at it? See, that's the opposite of being critical. You're biased because you're black and you only think that way.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Mm-hmm.
can't come up with your theory may be easily torn down if you only think of it one way, only by your own personal experience, and only maybe one time you experienced it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't
Wow.
use that to make a generalization of race.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody say, hey, look at all these cases of black people being mistreated in our legal system.
Mm-hmm.
There is definitely something here that is common with this type of the way we treat law. And it is that minorities don't deserve the same rights as whites, and that they're going to use the legal system to oppress and to support their goals of white supremacy. This is a critical look at racism, not your personal feelings, not what happened to you. It's about race as a social construct being used to support white supremacy and justify white supremacy. Because remember back early in the early days, they had all these types of tests and I had all these old crackpot doctors coming around talking about black people can't be as smart as white people because their skulls ain't even and brains ain't even big enough. And everything you could think of to justify why white people had the right to oppress this newly created construct of blackness. And that's what critical race theory does. Critical race theory looks at it all across the board in every arena. My work was critical race theory as it applies in education. Critical race theory points out that it just don't even, it's everywhere, not just in education, it's everywhere. It's in law enforcement, it's in healthcare. You know, when Rico says he's reading books and he's finding these things out, what he is finding out is all the documentation on where people of color were treated as inferior as it relates to white people. So that's what's so critical about it. Is because it's not just a feeling and it's not just something that happens occasionally. There is a permanence of racism in American culture. And so we've always had this notion of trying to reform. A lot of this occurred with civil rights acts and things like that. These are how these things came about. And so people started to study that and say, hey, wait a minute, this thing just didn't end with slavery. It's all over the place. It's not just slavery. It's in education. It's in the military. It's everywhere. And it permeates our society. And it stands out. And it's very recognizable, i.e., a race problem in the United States. The enemies of the United States have used our race problem
Mm-hmm.
as a tool as well to say, hey, the United States got too many problems. They don't treat black people right.
Mm-hmm.
We get you over here talking about how equal and how fair you are and how just you are, right in your own country. You got this thing called racism.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And people have to, like, say, for instance, I ask some people, are you really about the movement, or is it really just what you want? Are you really against racism, or are you just against being a victim of racism?
Mm-hmm.
You should not want a slave.
Mm-hmm.
If you want a slave, you should think about why you want a slave.
Exactly. Why would you want to put someone in the same situation that's
Yes, right.
yourself? Yeah.
So are you really against racism, or just against being the victim?
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Would
So
you want a white slave?
No, I don't want no slave. I don't give a fuck.
Exactly.
No, I don't. But
some people would want one.
Though, Leonard, you got sick people all across the walk of life. You got sick people, brother, and that's a sick individual that would want to subject somebody to something like that, knowing the history of it, knowing what it done, knowing what it could do to an individual. Give them that freedom, man. Give them that freedom.
You had slavery before you had race.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Before it was a racial issue, you had the slavery issue.
Mm-hmm. So, Daria, what's on your heart?
Just listening to Leonard and the explanation that he gave, giving more clarity on what we're dealing with, and I fully agree with him. This is not an issue to sweep under the rug. It's not an issue to put in a pretty package and put a bow on it and say we're addressing it. It's not that kind of issue. It's bigger than that. It's like he said, there's data. If you look at the data and you go back over the years to the ratios of what happens with Black people in the legal system, what happens with Black people in the school system, just as I said earlier, what even happens with Black people in the communities when they say, oh, we're going to create this project for a certain culture. They literally mean a project. We look at it like, oh, it's a new project and it's going to be some new housing, but the whole point is it's a project. So when it starts out as a project, guess how it ends up? It ends up with poor living, poor health care. It's just another way to put our people in a camp where they're put there to fester and eventually die away, and then so that they can say, see, we gave them something, and then they tore it up. Well, but what did you give us? Did you give us the appropriate education? Did you give us a school that has books? Because even now, some of the schools, they don't even have books. They don't. They no longer have art programs. They no longer cater to the mind of of our children to allow them to explore and see who they can become, besides looking at TV and saying, I want to be this guy with these necklaces and rapping and cussing. They when they go to school, there is no mentor, there is no person that they can look at and say, oh, I want to be like that. They don't even know. And I'm going to say this, being here in Georgia, coming from somewhere else, I was appalled that I've spoken to a lot of millennials here, and I was appalled at what they haven't been taught about Black people in school. Because I came from, going to school in California, going to school in Ohio, and some of the things that I know about, they don't even know. They've never heard of. And so to me, that was appalling in this time that they're still striving to keep educational tools from the kids in school so that they can have some self-esteem and self-worth about who they are and where they came from. Knowing your foundation and your roots is key to becoming becoming yourself, if for lack of better words, and especially if you grow up without a father who is the person that gives you identity. So if you grow up without a father and then you go to a school where there's no educational knowledge about who you are, and you have a mother that's not training you to understand who you are and where you came from, then you have all of these kids that are growing up, first of all, by themselves because both of their parents is at work or they only have one parent. So they're growing up by themselves and they're not being properly educated about who they are. Therefore, when they run into situations in this country where there is racism, they don't even know how to react and respond to it because they don't know anything about it, until it's in their face. So I think you know, it's something that has to, we can say it needs to. No, it has to change in this country. And if it doesn't, at some point, we will have a civil war
Wow.
because the tension is so high. The tension with everybody is so high, black against white, because so much has come out over the year of COVID that people could visually see. So it has changed even the tension and the climate between brown skinned people and white people. So it must be addressed. And if it's not, we're going to see a lot more crime, a lot more people fighting, just fighting out in the streets to the point where it's just going to be, civilly, where people cannot even be civil with one another.
Wow. Tucson, what do you say to that? What's on your heart, brother?
Unfortunately, I would say it'd probably be good for this country.
A civil war?
Yes.
Wow.
I'm sorry to put that out there on you.
No, that's fine. Yeah, no.
But it's been brewing for years. And there are some that will welcome it. They're planning it as we speak. They're practicing. They've been practicing for years. They got acres and acres of land that you got to go through to get to where they're training. They're police officers, they're judges and doctors and lawyers and senators and congressmen, and you'd be surprised. Pastors, preachers, and teachers, prophets, and bishops. They got their guns and they got their little camouflage on.
I'm assuming you'll come back shortly, Raheem, because the audio and things did fall off, and I'm not on the. I can't tell. I still see you, but you definitely froze up. But I think what most people will learn about this issue is hopefully they learn to look at things more critically, except for one side.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing about critical race theory. Critical race theory is not how you feel about anything. Critical race theory is a study of racism. That's what it is. It's not a study of how you think things should be done or anything like that. Everything that when they say something is critical race theory, it looks at an issue in depth to find a possible solution to answer certain questions on why. And anyone can go and look at critical race theory, and then look at those things that emerge from that initial research that may even haven't been looked at yet. So there is still more work to even add to this body of knowledge. Writers such as myself, when you write and you do research, your research has to be reviewed by peers in the field. And that's what they call peer reviewed.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have other people, scholars, who have looked at it from that point of view, looked at the evidence and everything else. And if you choose to challenge race theory, you would have to say, this is not true, and then go prove that. Or else that theory still stands. Evolution theory or the theory of relativity. All these theories that you hear about, they're theories because no one has been able to come along and refute a lot of them. And more people have studied them, and it just adds to that body of knowledge. I love James Baldwin so much for the very simple fact is he was an author that wrote about racism not only from his personal point of view, but he looked at the conditions of African Americans across the United States. He looked at the history of how they had been treated, and his debates and things like that were based simply in race. He was a great author. He was a great author already. But now when he focuses on race, and if you see some of his documentaries on the situations, definitely, I believe, out west, for instance, of course, him being affected by racism to the point where he was ready to give up his American citizenship, and he went and lived like a lot of other scholars and artists and things at the time, moved like to France and to escape racism in the United States.
Yeah.
And this was a huge movement back then, where a lot of folks left and went somewhere else because of racism.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And Leonard, I definitely appreciate you, brother. Somehow I'm about to go and maybe get my system cleaned out because it keeps shutting down on me. I don't know what the world is going on with it, but we'll take care of that. It won't be an issue next week, I promise you. But yeah, there's so many there, and I wanted to talk about that critical race theory, man, because there's so much tied up in, and there's a lot of things about it that people just don't know. People just don't know what it is. They hear the verbiage, but they don't do the research and they don't go into it and find out exactly what it is. So I thought this would be a great opportunity today for us to talk about it. Let's also talk about, before we get to our topic, we got a great topic today. We're going to get to that in just a few minutes as well. But Scenario, what does that fake it till you make it? What does that mean to you? Because I see people, they're sitting on fake it until they make it. And and I spoke about it earlier. They walk around and they want to have the best of the best and and buy the fanciest clothes and want to have the most expensive this, the most expensive that. But at the end of the day, they can't even pay their rent. And I say rent because they don't have a lease, because they don't have the money to get it, because they're trying to fake it until they make it. So what do you say to that?
It's the same thing as trying is lying. You know, if you say, well, I'm trying to do this, y'all, you telling me is that you're not doing it, because either you're going to do it or you're not. You don't have to try to do something. You do it or you don't do it. If you're not capable of doing it, that's something totally different. But to say, oh, I'm trying to make it, and I'm trying, you know, I fake it till you make it is that same principle. I don't believe in fake it till you make it. And unfortunately, they teach it in, you know, church, religious, spiritual, they teach it in a way in spirituality that along with the scripture, call those things that be not as though they were. So that's the same thing. Call those things as be not as though they were. Okay. That's positive confession to some people. It's okay to positively confess what you want or desire, but the word of God also says confess your faults or weaknesses one to another so that you can be healed. So that lets me know if I got to be healed from something is not well in me. So and I can't fake not being well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I'm not well, it's going to exude and someone's going to be able to see that I'm not well, because it's going to come out in my behavior. The fake it until you make it is just people being in competition and too afraid of being who they are or who they are not. So I don't agree with fake it until you make it. I don't think that makes anyone get to a place where they're necessarily better. I think it makes people pretend to be something they're not, and they're consistently seeing themselves as a failure, and therefore it can bring on depression, oppression. It can bring on where they mistreat others, where they feel rejected, where they feel abandoned. It ignites all of those things in people because they're striving to be something, first of all, that may not even be their plight in life. It's like me striving to be I'm a pastor, I'm a teacher. That's who I am. That's what I was created to be. I was teaching when I was 5 years old. Before I had any experience or education to teach, I would teach the little kids in the class and try to help everybody. So that was in me. Nobody had to put it in me. It was already there. And every human being has that element because our God is that perfect and miraculous. So but we try to get outside of the natural element so that we can appear to be something that we're not. And it's very easy for people to see when you're outside of your natural element. If you get up and sing and you're not a singer, you think nobody's gonna notice? That doesn't even make sense. So no, I don't deal with fake it till you make it. It's work at it, it's strive, it's do the work, and you'll get there. Timing is not the factor, because every day that you wake up, you already got your miracle because your eyes is open. And I put this on Facebook. It's what you do with the miracle once your eyes open. And so that's where people are not realistic. That fake it until you make it keeps people out of reality in my eyes. So same as trying is lying.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm trying. Yeah.
Hey, good. That's good. Toya with a T, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm trying to be good today, y'all.
Hey, keep trying, sis. We got a lot of day. We got a lot of day to make it through. So keep trying. Don't give up yet. It's too early to give up yet. But what do you say to the people that say fake it until you make it, and they're presenting themselves as if they've made it, they body fanciful, they want to have the best cars, and at the end of the day they can't even pay the rent because I say rent because they don't have enough money to buy a home because they invest in too much into this fake imagery that you're trying to put out there. Fake it until you make it. What do you say to that?
That get on my nerves. I'm in management. And when I would come across a company that do that, that's how they would teach you and train you. Oh, we don't know. You don't know. Fake it till you make it. I'm gone. I am gone. But no, listen. I just had a conversation with somebody yesterday about all that. Where we are now, right? If you got any regrets, right? Because we stroked out now. Got any regrets? Anything you would do differently? Nah, I still want my polo. Oh, well, you got your polo. Well, where he at? Where he at with your therapy?
Yeah.
Where he at with helping you right now with wiping that drool off your lip? I'm not trying to be funny. Like, you still not getting it, bro? You still trying to act like you're something that you're not. Where's the savings? Like, we're in a stroke situation. Where's the savings? Where's polo? See, when we don't live in reality, and I was thinking about this yesterday. I said maybe it's because we do it because, I don't know, royalty is in our blood, and we just, I don't know, in our heads it's got to have the best, but we skipping that middle concept, man. I mean, it's unfortunate, like I told my individual the other day, like, we put our riches and you invest these things into polo, into cars, into houses, but why do what about investing into your spouse, investing into your kids, investing into your family? You can't pay tax on time for trying to make sure you got polo.
Exactly.
It's unfortunate. You you can't make it to your kids' activities, but you at every NBA game. Paying for it. But let your child have something, you can't go there. You ain't got time. You out there buying Polo and Acura and Benzes, but let your kid that stay with your wife, ex-wife, come ask you for $50, honey. You gonna hit the roof because look, you pay them little $50 in child support. But to the world now, you look good. You look like you got it going on. You look like you well put together.
Exactly.
But everything you do, it's like that Cadillac with a Mitsubishi engine, bro. You look good on the outside.
Yeah.
You look high class, premium. But on the inside, bro, you still a Mitsubishi, man. Like, it's real out here. And we not getting it, man. And we don't get it, we ain't gonna never get back to unity because we can't even unite with the ones that we giving our offspring and our family, man. But yeah, it's truly it's a deep situation out here.
Absolutely. And no disrespect to Mitsubishi. No disrespect to Mitsubishi.
None at all.
Hey, Donald Tucson, fake it till you make it, man. What do you think about that whole concept?
I don't know, man. I listen real careful, and I just can't figure it out. I don't know. Let me just say, I'm trying not to. Well, I know I ain't fake. I'm just who I am. You take it or leave it. It don't make me no difference. Really doesn't. I mean that.
Yeah.
Really. I really do mean that. Exactly like I said it. But do you want me to hang with camels or frogs? They're in the same field.
Yeah. Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
I mean, we want people to advance so that you encourage them to change your circle or change the people that you associate with. Because if you're the richest person in your circle, then you're probably supporting everybody else.
Yeah.
So then when you change your circle and try to advance in life, you find out those that you communing with now, because they're, some people, if the old saying, if it rains, they'll drown. Because they got their nose so far in the air.
Wow.
So I choose to hang with neither one of them. I take my own path, and sooner or later, I'll either make it or die.
Yeah. There you go.
That's it.
Hey, that's good. Good deal. Friday. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Doing all right. How you doing?
Boy, she came right back country with me. That's all right. Right. We're talking about Friday. Fake it until you make it. What do you think about that concept?
I think it's a concept that has horrible PR. And I think we tend to argue the bad PR point versus what it actually is trying to convey, which is very reflective to how a lot of people approach life, news, and other information that they receive. And so for me, my choice of approach to that is that I look at what is it trying to say. We get in these phases of trends of catchy catchphrases to sell to give the pitch to with the intent of drawing people in, that they would then do the research or do the work or do in being, right? So so ultimately it's a phrase that has horrible PR. It's never been modified or refined to really articulate what it really means. And so for me, when I hear that, and fake it till you make it, it can have a negative connotation to it if we just take it for face value and run with it. We do that with the word, and we want to apply the word in ways that it isn't necessarily appropriate to that situation because it sounds good. And we don't do the homework. We don't get the backstory. We don't really understand the fullness of, and there's many revelations to the same scripture. So let me be clear about that. I'm not saying there's only one way to apply that, but backing out of the word a little bit and just going to what this is.
Mm-hmm.
Fake it till you make it. I believe it's just the lights and glimmer to say, okay, yes, you can call things as if they were, that's not, knowing that you got to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
And so you say, okay, I'm going to not look like what I'm going through.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As the same exact mirror thing of fake it till you make it, right? I don't have to look like a bad day because I'm having a bad day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But by putting on nice clothes or puffing up my fro or whatever that is, that's not true to that moment. So in that moment, I'm faking it. Right? But I'm going to make it a good day because of the choices that I make, the work that I am doing, the
That's
effort
good.
that I'm putting into what it is that I'm trying to accomplish. So it's a temporary phrase to fix a temporary situation to help feed that ultimate place or destination that you're trying to get to. Not that you're supposed to stay in that place, not that you're supposed to continue to fake it and never have substance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can put on Instagram and go rent a car for a weekend and be like, I'm get my paycheck, cash it out, and flow some cash for that moment. Maybe that's where I'm trying to be, where it's not a fakeness. But if I spend all my time in fakeness, then I'm never providing substance to the thing of the permanent that I'm trying to get to. And I think that was essentially the tone that I think the previous caller or speaker was trying to convey, is that we don't camp out in the fakeness. But that can be a temporary moment to help fill us to get to where we're going, right? So I cannot have a full tank of gas in my car, but just because it's almost on E, I don't have to broadcast that I'm almost on E to get to the gas station.
That's good.
Right.
That's good.
But my car's moving. So as far as everybody can see, I'm faking it so I can make it to the gas station because I ain't got no gas in the car. You understand what I'm saying? But once I get there, now if I decide to get to the gas station and never put the gas in the car to fill it up with the things that it needs to get to the next place to be in a position to get to my job, to not then be without, now I can continue to have a full tank of gas. So I'm no longer having to fake it, right? But I think there's a moment in time that was just something to help motivate and uplift individuals, that they don't have to stay and sit and camp out in that place of disparity or that place of not being there yet. But if you put on that dress that makes you feel good, if you put on that music that makes you feel good, and that let that be a vehicle of which gets you to where you're going. So ultimately, I don't have a problem with the statement. The problem is it has bad PR.
Okay, hold on one second. Let me go to Leonard. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
And I pretty much agree with it, how she explained it. Fake it till you make it is just that. There are some points where you simply are, I'm going to tell you what I equate it to with Christianity. Favor ain't fair.
Yeah. Okay.
And some people are blessed and they may not have what you think they should have. But they're blessed. You may look at them and you be like, that person ain't did this, haven't did that, or what have you. And they just pretending. Well, what are they pretending to be other than what they're trying to become? When you first start and go to medical school, you're going to pretend to be a doctor. You're going to be around doctors. You're going to act like doctors. You're going to want to talk to doctors because you want to become a doctor. You got some people that go on the job. You got people sitting there with 30 years of experience, but you came in with a degree. They may say, well, he don't know nothing. What's the potential? You already know pretty much all you know. What is the potential of that person? It took you 30 years. May not take that other person 30 years. I work with a lot. Go ahead.
Is there any fabrication of the truth in that whole fake it till you make it? Is there any fabrication of the truth in that?
No, not really. I'm gonna tell you like the way the young lady just explained it. Good morning, by the way. I don't ever remember speaking to her. Miss Friday, I believe. Is that what it says there?
It's
Oh,
Friday.
okay. Right. And so she was very clear, because if you're in the corporate America, there are some people that come in and you use the term fake it till you make it, because this is much what you must do before you become fully qualified for anything. For anything. You don't walk into a brand new job knowing everything, but you don't necessarily have to go and let everybody know you ignorant. One reason black folks have an issue is because you tell all your business. Like if I have a store, okay, and I'm gonna sell you a shirt. Let me tell you what the average Negro gonna come in and do. The shirt $30. Well, how much you paid for it? That ain't none of your business how much I paid for it.
Exactly.
It's going to cost you $30. See, this notion that you got to go in and turn out inside out to prove your blackness or your ability to do something or whatever is ridiculous. I'm not under your inspection. There are some people that can prove, like I was a young manager, very young, probably youngest in corporate where I used to work. And they were not used to seeing a young black man. Some white people even retired. They did not want to be in my work groups because whether this old young snapper, he gonna come in here and tell. But what they did not know is how much I knew. That was my secret. That was my strength. You think just because I came here, I'm not who I am or I'm not qualified. But one thing about me is I was qualified on the day I was hired.
Yes.
Some people are not always qualified on the day they're hired. They have to do OJT. You know what I'm saying? On the job training.
Yeah.
That's a really formal way of saying fake it till you make it. You have to do the best you can, and you're not necessarily faking anything. You're doing the best you can until you become great at it. You will make it eventually if you try and you put the input in, or what's that common phrase? Your character will take you. What is that phrase? It's going to take your character to keep you wherever you go.
Yeah.
Because if you get in a place where your character cannot support where you are, you may just fail. Because although you have on paper you meet the criteria, you are not as proficient when you first start.
Yeah.
You're just not. So you have to, quote, fake it, just like the young lady said. And this is what we do all the time, and why I seem a bit more aggressive than most people. It's because I'm not interested in your BS. I really only want truth and facts. When I'm making decisions, I am completely unbiased. So I look at things critically, everything this way, because I'm not satisfied with pretending that I know something. I'm very uncomfortable not knowing. So what I don't do is I don't fake it or let you know I don't know.
So basically what I'm hearing you say is you do not fake it till you make it.
Well, all y'all faking it till you making it if you don't know. Like there are some people that are just great at certain things that they don't have to fake. You got and I don't like how people use my people as a bad example when it comes to this. Just because a young man or whatever likes to look good or loves a particular brand or anything like that does not mean he's a fake. That means he enjoys that brand. If you ever worn Polo, guess what? It is a lot better than a lot of the stuff you buy anywhere else. You may buy a Walmart pair of pants that tear up in 6 weeks, and you may have your Polo pants that last 6 years.
Yeah.
So that person may just like that particular brand because that's the type of quality that they like. And then y'all look at it and tell that person, and we use all these other little social characteristics to say he think he better, or they think they, you got some women, they'll sit there and lay down and have a baby with you because you dress nice.
Let me do this right here, because I want to get to this topic. I want to get to our topic and give it at least an hour and a half if we can do that. But I want to go to Donna Toussaint. And Lynn was talking about the polo shirts and stuff like that. But a lot of time I heard a lot of older folks talk about, and maybe these old people, they talk about the stitch count. What kind of stitch count it got?
Exactly.
And so Donna, that means a lot to them, because they feel like if they're higher stitch count, it is a better quality of clothing. What's on your heart, Donna?
Yeah, so I need to start counting stitches now.
hey, that's what they say. Leonard might know something about that. He responded. Yeah, they say the stitch count, man. If it has a low stitch count, it's not it's good quality.
Well, it's a tear apart there. Yeah, it's made cheap. So I guess that's why some people shop at the dollar store. I guess we're going back to faking it till it's making it, doing the best they can until they get there. We have I don't know how to say it. We have a definition of I have arrived. And people strive and strain and steal and kill trying to do that. When we all wind up at the grave.
Yep.
So what's the point? I mean, some things that I'm just trying to survive. I mean, really, whether I got $2 or $2 million. I mean, hopefully, I won't get high-minded. That I just be useless to humanity.
Exactly.
Wow,
that's good.
Stitch count, yeah. Okay, good. What is your? I don't want to. I'm gonna have to bail out. What's your topic? I wanted to try to see. I don't know what it is, but
okay, we're going to get to the topic right now.
Curious.
We're going to get to the topic right now, and I'm gonna start it off with you. And I'm gonna ask you this question. Regardless of what you're going through in life, a lot of times things happen, and we have our own obstacles. We have our own obstacles. So, do you believe that help is on the way? Do you really believe that help is on the way, regardless of what you're going through? Toussaint, do you believe that help is on the way, or is it already here, and we have just overlooked it?
It's always been here. That's what I believe. Now, how you get it, that's an individual path you have to take. I mean, some people are going to get a certain type of help. It depends on what your values are, what you desire, what you want in life. And then some people, you got to realize that you're going to have some poor people. But you're the help. You're looking at the help. Look in the mirror and go help somebody.
Wow, that's good.
We're there for each other. We don't have to be jealous. We don't have to be envious of each other. If you have more than two nickels rubbed together and you're doing well, look at your brother next door to you and see their condition, and don't do like what is the I call them the preacher and the teacher, when they seen the man half wounded and left half dead. The Good Samaritan, what he did was he just helped him. But the I call him the preacher. He went on the other side. The deacon comes by and he looked at him. Then he went on the other side. That's how humanity has become. We see people's condition, but all we do is run our mouth about it and go on because we're in a rush to go somewhere because we have our own agenda.
Exactly. Friday, what do you say? Do you believe help is on the way?
I do believe help is on the way, and I also believe, as was stated, that help has always been here. I think, being the person of many questions that I am, I would say, well, what help are you referring to? Right? Because if we're just talking about, it makes me think about when I was in philosophy, we talked about this concept, and I don't remember the gentleman's name of the of time of old who came up with the concept, but it was, you know, somebody can look it up and find it. But it was a scenario where people were in a cave, there was a fire, so it was people that was casting shadows, and so there was individuals that were captivated by what's on the wall, by the shadows. And then somebody had the idea that, you know what, it's more to this than the shadows on the wall. I'm gonna go out this cave, and then, oh my God, it's light, it's marvelous light, it's a whole world out there. He came back to help, and they ended up wanting to kill him because they're like, no, we don't want to receive this help that you're saying is there because we're captivated by the shadows on the wall, even if we know it's shadows. And so to answer the question with that example that I just gave, yes, help has been there and help is on the way. Are you willing to receive it?
Exactly. Toya, what did he talk to me? Is help? Do you believe that help is on the way?
Oh yeah, help is here, man. I mean, I guess I can kind of see different point of views. I try to be very empathetic and always see from the other side. But no, help is already here. What else you waiting on? It's time to help is you. Now what? Time to help you. You to help. You the key to the help that everybody looking for. Now what? You the one.
That's good.
We can't even deal with that responsibility. You feel what I'm saying? Oftentimes when we look at it like that, it makes us reflect upon ourselves. We only asking for help because you feel like, I don't know, you need it. But if you are your own solution, what you need help with? You know what I mean? I get this Most High. I get God, right?
Yes.
But the thing that he kept telling me was in the beginning when he created me in his image. What else do you need? You're already in my image. You ain't me, but I made you like me. You're another point to hold us down. What are you doing? It's nothing else I can do. You got the smart, you got the intelligent, you got the eyes to see, the legs to walk, the arms to move. My God started putting up, the first man he showed me was a white man with no arms. I still didn't get it. Then he put the black lady on there, which she only had legs and feet, and she had to braid and change her baby's diaper with her feet and her toes. I said, all right, Lord, I get the message, Lord. My bad.
Yeah.
Up here acting like you can't do what you can't do, what you can't achieve, what you can't accomplish. But what did I tell you in the beginning? Well, Lord, the white folks, Lord, the doctor. No. What did I tell you? You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we don't really recognize how powerful we are because we know we ain't gotta be faking nothing. It is what it is. You know what I mean? We have to understand that we are the solution. Not the cops, not the government, not the spouse, not the kid, not even the money. Money will come when you recognize that you are the solution. You are the help.
That's good. Leonard, what do you say to that? Do you believe that help is on the way?
Always. It may not be on the way, like the people just said. It could be right there. You just don't want it.
Exactly. Come on.
I don't operate under the notion that everybody wants the same thing. Help doing what? Help. What do you want help to do? Have the things that people complain about. For instance, I always use education, for instance. When I hear about, these studies and things like that, poverty is related to education. I mean, this is not a debate. It is. Lower educated people a lot of times are usually living in poverty. So when you think about it, well, why is that when every poor person or poor child in America, even after they go to a free public school, can go to college for free? And that's been like that for at least 50 years. At least. So why are you not going to get it? Especially when it has been proven that education has been one of the biggest things to uplift African Americans as well. The more educated you are, usually the more salaries you can command, and all these types of things. Education and freedom, like literacy, it used to be literacy and freedom, are tied to one another.
Yes.
You know, so when you look at that and you say, hey, if I got some of that, wouldn't that help me? So why won't some of you go get it?
Doesn't make sense, does it?
So you don't want the help that's there. But it's there. Like I think Donald was one to say, it's always been here. Some of y'all just don't ask enough people. Some of y'all don't ask at all. Some of you may be even embarrassed to ask or embarrassed to let folks know you need some help.
Do you think some people let it, and this is I'm just gonna ask you, do you think some people are just happy and satisfied with eating from the bottom of the barrel?
No, I think that some people are just happy with what they put into a situation and what they get out of it. They're satisfied with that. And I don't fault them for that. I don't fault people for being in the situation that they are to demean them and things of that nature. Oh, you must be poor since you don't have what I have. You know, you must be like when I tell people, stop telling poor. I can't stand a rich man telling poor man's story. I'm so sick of y'all. It's ridiculous. How you gonna keep claiming broke? How y'all gonna keep claiming broke, but you go out there and get what you want? Really, poor people can't do that. So it looks always to me is that why are you exploiting poor people this way? And too many times our people, especially Black people, a lot of folks eating off this notion that we so at the bottom and we so this. See, a lot of people been eating off of that notion. So it's hard to say that, okay, I need to do something else. If you've made all your money and all your fame has come from race issues. So you can't come up and say how great Black people are doing because you make all your money on demeaning African-American existence. Every time I say something positive about Black people, you say something negative. You know, we even fought our own people for doing well.
Wow.
You know, but he shouldn't be wearing them type of clothes. Why shouldn't he be wearing those clothes? He bought those clothes.
Yep.
He worked and did whatever he needed to do to get what he wanted to wear. Or some people say that the Black man, he don't need to be driving that car. Why not? Why not? Because you're not driving it? Is that why he shouldn't be driving it?
Exactly. He won't loan it to you. Let me pull some more people into the conversation. We got Rico. Rico just called in. I want to go to Sadaria. Rico, then I'm coming to you next. Sadaria, what's on your heart? Do you believe that help is on the way?
Well, you know, just in conjunction with what everyone else said, help. You always have had help. You have help when you get here, and when I say when you get here, when we come into this life. We come into this life with help. If we come into this life with a parent or any adult figure who begins to feed us, clothe us, bathe us, and teach us to do the day-to-day functions that we need to learn to do, it's proven that help is already here. The scripture says that God has given us everything. This is one of my favorite scriptures. I have to remind myself, pertaining to life and godliness. So everything I need pertaining to this life, I already have. And I have the godly spirit that was given to me, as Toya said in the beginning, because I was created in the image and likeness of God. So I have the capabilities of creating and establishing foundational things in the realm in which I live in. But we come here with help, and then we are the help. Give and it shall be given unto you. It is better to give than to receive. So we are the help. The problem is we don't know that we're the help.
Come on.
You know, we all have something to contribute to somebody. We may not have something to contribute to everybody, but there is a group of people that need what you are specifically blessed with and know how to give to others.
Do we care enough to share though?
Nope, we don't. We are selfish, self-centered people. And because we are selfish and self-centered, most people, and whether they want to admit it or not, are selfish and self-centered to some degree. And you know, we can call it, well, that's survival of the fittest. You know, well, God has given us, you know, the ability to survive and know that we need to take care of ourselves. Yes, that's scriptural. He said, love thy neighbor as you love yourself. So that makes sense. But he also said, give in order to receive.
Yeah.
So if we remain in a selfish state of mind, then we're closing the door to receiving help that we may need, because help is all around us and everywhere we go. One other thing I want to share is in Joshua. It says, if we meditate on these laws, meaning the principles of God, day and night, we can make our own way prosperous. So a lot of people have heard that scripture to say, God will make our way prosperous. But that's not what the scripture says. It says we can make our own way prosperous. So still God is reassuring us, you came here with what you need. Just utilize it and you will get to the destiny that I created you for to begin with. So yes, help is always here. It was here when you got here, and it's been provided to you for free, because we all got here and somebody took care of us, or we wouldn't be on this panel. So help is always here.
Good. Let me go to Rico. Rico, good morning. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
No, I can't complain, man. Grand Rising, everybody.
Hey, Grand Rising to you as well, brother. We're asking the question, do you believe help is on the way? Rico, do you believe help is on the way? What do you say to that?
Yeah, she took everything I was going to say, man. I'm ready to hang up. Yeah, I mean, you know, I look at it the same way when I first saw the question and I got on. I'm like, yeah, you know, never fear, Rico is here.
Yeah, there you
help
go.
is going to be on the way. You get what I'm saying? I mean, you don't have to wait on it. If you ask that question, then you might be the one that needs to do the helping.
Come on.
So as long as I'm around, you drown and I'll be the one to jump in the pool and get you. I ain't going to sit back and watch. If you enjoy a situation, I ain't going to sit back and just record you and be a witness to it. I'm helping.
Yeah.
So if nobody else helps, I know within me, I'm not the one that can sit back and not help when there's a need, when there's a life that needs to be rescued. When somebody needs your help. See, some people, we all need help at one point in time. Everybody did, like she just said. If it wasn't for help, we wouldn't have been fed after we were born. We wouldn't have been nurtured.
Come on.
So, you know, we had to be protected. We had to be shielded. So I'm always going to be here to protect the vulnerable. Even when other people believe help isn't on the way, I know my integrity and I know my duty is to pass on the same thing that was given to me. Because if it wasn't for other people, I probably wouldn't be here.
Exactly.
I refuse to sit back and let somebody else lose their life. So yeah, I'm always gonna believe help is on the way, even when I don't see it coming from other people. I don't give up on it because I know me.
There you go. There you go. That's good. Tucson, talk to me, brother.
I don't know why I start thinking about Cain and Abel. They both have the ability to do something, right? One's in the field and the other one's in the vineyard. And because you make a sacrifice that's not pleasing to God, and you look at your brother and he's doing basically his best, and then turn around and he says, hey, and I'm paraphrasing all this, where your brother at? And he says, like, well, really, I don't really care.
Mm-hmm.
He says, well, his blood cries out from the ground. You mean to tell me, wait a minute, huh? You didn't kill your brother? Because he did something that was beneficial, or really it was just the right thing to do. Or he was just trying to he wasn't trying to please man. He was just trying to give his best. And because he tried to give his best, you mean to tell me you would kill him? And you have the nerve to ask the question, am I his keeper? And that's the question we're asked today. Are you? And we walk away on the run because we feel like, really, I don't care whether he lives or dies. And we're selfish.
Yeah.
We're envious. And we have malice and guile in our lives just because somebody got what you don't have. Well, and the Lord tells him, he says, if you do well, then, you're going to be all right. But if not, sin lies at the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
So look at us. Take a look at us and see what conditions we're in. I mean, that's all I want to say.
Exactly. That's good. Hey, that's plenty, brother. That's plenty. Friday, what's on your heart, sis? Talk to me.
It's not much more to say. I think all of the points have been expressed fully. That really answers the question that I posed in the beginning. Are you willing to receive help? And then prior to that, saying what help, are you looking for? And then that was answered to say, hey, you could be the help too, right? So, and I think that was beautiful representation using the Cain and Abel story, because my husband and I was just talking about that particular story from a different perspective, but just how the patterns of what caused Adam and Eve to be expelled from the garden in the first place is the same patterns that we deal with, and he was placed in the garden to tend to the garden to help. Well, God doesn't really need our help, but to tend to it, and he was given that helpmate and to meet incomparable, and we are that to one another as it's been already stated. So I'll just be restating those points that were very profoundly given already. And I think the takeaway, if I could say something to add to that, would be the takeaway that for all the listeners and to each of us, just to do the call that was already put out. Like, are we evaluating ourselves, looking in the mirror, self-reflection to say, am I helping myself? Am I being a help to myself? And then also, therefore, am I being a help to my brother and sisters? And and not try to not try to be like, oh, you're not my blood brother and sister, or this, that. Well, we are. If you're in the body of Christ, we are blood brothers and sisters by the blood of Jesus Christ. So that's all I would add to that, is I'll admonish individuals that hear this presently and rebroadcast to just, are you being a help?
Yeah. Let me ask you this question, Friday, and I'm gonna pose this question around the panel as well. But Job went through some terrible situations in his life, and if this question were to be asked, do you believe that help is on the way? Do you believe that help is on the way? I would, regardless of what level up was that he went through, I believe Job would say yes. I believe that help is on the way, because he had that faith in God, and he know that God would never leave him nor forsake him. But how many of us would hold on to that same vigor that he had?
That's the road that we journey each day. That's the road that we journey each day, and why Scripture is so powerful. To His word will stand even when the earth and heavens will fade away. So we can have that to go back to say, okay, Job had it all.
Yes.
He had it so much so that the devil went and Satan went and said, "Hey, the only reason why he is what he is because you got your hedge of protection around him. So if you take that away, he gonna curse you." Right. And so that is a challenge that we go through every day. Well, with the gift of choice that was given to us, will we still choose God? Will we still choose him enough to trust his word? Whether it looks like dire straits and desolation, will we still choose his word and stand on that despite what physically may seem like or emotionally what we're going through? Because he went through everything, right? He had physical loss, emotional devastation, ailments to his body. But will we still trust his word beyond those things? And so that's the road that we're journeying. Are we getting grounded in his word?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Leonard, I'm led to you next, brother. What do you say to that, man? Because Job went through it all. He went through it all, man. And if you would have asked him at any phase of that, do you believe the help is on the way? He would say yes. How many of us would stand on that same?
Well, one, I do. Because one thing about Job is, though he slay me, yet will I serve him.
Come on.
Because he attributed his wealth in the first place to God. He was a very religious man. And he had moral values and standards for his living. And so much to the point that he was known by everyone else to be this way. So when they were coming and they were all trying to figure out, his friends on what they could do. And they were offering many suggestions and everything. But even they agreed. He had to have done something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we know this man. But his God has done this to him. Even his wife.
Yes. Yes. Sure did. Come on.
If you read the story, his children were not as religious as he was. But because he was their because they were his children, they were even wealthy. And it talks about how he would go by their houses to make sure that there was some prayer there. That someone was making a plea for them on behalf of them to his God, because they did not always do it, follow the same rules. And so it is just that way when things happen. Do you attribute rotten things to God? Do you? I mean, it's just a question, because this is a concept that many people, they use. And they would pretend that God this, and God told me, and God this. And really? Really? Did God really tell you that, or is that just something you just wanted to do?
Come
there are
on.
a lot of things I just want to do, and I ask God's guidance in those things. But wanting to do them is my desire.
Yes. Yes.
So this notion that somehow God is sitting around here moving you around the board like a chess piece is really not the best representation of the relationship.
What do you say, Leonard, when a person changed their position all the time? Well, God told me, and today is I'm gonna do this. Well, tomorrow God told me I'm gonna do something, and it's totally opposite of what you say God said yesterday. Now in this season is something totally different. Well, God said there was gonna be my wife. Then y'all break up, and you got another one. God sent this woman to me to be my wife. Hold on now. How many is this some, what kind of situation are we in here?
Well, you know how y'all be prophesying.
On that note,
but just to add, I was going through a very difficult time a little bit over 20 years ago. Depression. My brother had been killed, and all these types of things. I was going through a divorce, you name it. And so I prayed to God, and I asked God, send me someone to get through these horrible days. But I chose her to be my wife.
Yeah.
He sent her just to comfort me. And I chose her to be my wife.
Yeah.
But I asked, and I believed that he would do it. That help I asked for, I believed, was on the way.
Yes, sir. Come on.
And so when it came, it was almost divine this way. Is that because I'm a very person, one, if you don't talk to me, or especially I'm not very aggressive with women this way. So you have to introduce yourself to me, because I'll never be aggressive that way usually. So that is exactly how things happen.
So you're saying you're not like me, talk to everybody?
No, nowhere near that. I am very standoffish and very much minding my own business usually. So
man, I talk to everybody. I talk to you. You saw firsthand.
I've been with you. It's great for you, but it's annoying to me.
Yeah, okay. Let's go.
That's you. That's how you do. I mean, I don't fault it, because you're doing a good thing. It's nice. It's not hurting anyone. Now, of course, it wastes a lot of time and it's very distracting to me. And I'll never get anything accomplished if I did.
I say, Raheem, leave them people alone,
please, so we can get out of this store. You are not going to talk to everybody from the parking lot to the store.
Exactly, man. I just love people, man. I love people.
I witnessed it. That's the way you are, though. Yeah, that's you. Yeah. I don't fault you for it. God bless you. It's just not me.
Look, just don't do it while we together.
Please
Toya,
don't.
Exactly. Toya, you want to see what's on your heart, sister? Talk to me.
Yeah, the great thing about God, he can do what he want to do, tell people to do what he want to do when he want to do it, and then he don't worry about what nobody else don't believe. It hadn't even rained yet when he told Noah to build that boat. Now I know they all thought he was lying, but listen, God will do what he want to do and tell what he want to tell to whoever he want to tell it to, all at the same time. But at the end of the day, as humans, understanding that how you was talking about Job, but Job was still the key. He already knew he wasn't going to turn on him. Job already had a concept, and the concept that most of us humans don't want to acknowledge. We don't want to face the bad times, even though we know they're going to come. Somebody said it earlier, we so selfish, because we already know some things can happen. For instance, I'm giving an example, right? We don't want to get out of shape, or we want to be sexy, but we don't want to exercise. We just want to eat what we want to eat when we want to eat it, and then over
come
time,
on now, come through, pound cake, come through.
And then when it comes time to do the work, to be sexy again, you know what I'm saying? We want to go fake it till we make it. Go get all kind of surgeries and things to help adjust you. But you already got the key and the power to make that happen. Matter of fact, you had it a long time ago, but you decided to squander it away.
Wow.
It's a lot of things we do to ourselves that we don't want to acknowledge and admit. And we always want to bring other entities. That's why God made us last, because we will not stay. We can't get beside ourselves and get glory to anybody else.
Come on.
Another reason why I believe in the Bible, because humans got a big problem giving the glory to anybody but them. And why would they give all that glory to God and Jesus in that book? Talking about they trying to deceive me with the wicked stuff that they done. That just don't sound right to me. But whatever. But yes, we do that. We take our power, we take our dominion, we do what we like. And if God tells us to build a boat with it, we can. And if God tells us to go to Nineveh, we can try to run away, rock a boat, rock that storm. But see, when you on the boat now, the storm ain't because of me. Because you want to continue to do what you want to do. We don't understand that power. Oh no, I'm not having bad luck because I don't take care of my kids. I'm not having bad luck because I'm being a womanizer. Because I'm getting with a woman and entertaining and having sex before marriage. No, I'm cool because I'm a girl. So I'm if he loved me and I love him and God ain't want me to have no kids, I wouldn't get pregnant. He ain't gonna never leave me or forsake me. Yeah, he ain't gonna leave you forsake you after those 7 kids either. They gonna take away the fact that it's still gonna be hard.
Exactly.
The baby daddy ain't gotta leave you. He could pass away and go home with the Lord. That's something else we can't deal with because we're so selfish. We know God the creator, but then when somebody dies, we get so selfish and get mad with him. The amazing part, right? The devil do something to you, you get mad at God for it.
Wow.
But let somebody do that to you. Let you be playing with somebody and the person get pushed by somebody else, and instead of them pushing back to somebody else, they're gonna come push you because you was standing there. Well, they pushed me. Well, what you push me for? See, that's what we do as humans. It's everybody else's fault except for ours. I just acknowledged this about myself the other day. I said, you know what? I tell you. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna say it was me. Let me stop. That was the Lord was doing.
That's good.
Stop saying about me. You know what you're doing. You know what you're not doing. You know you made a total conscious decision to do what you wanted to do, and you got to deal with it.
Exactly.
And we don't want to deal with it. You know what I mean? So oftentimes we have to understand that our power, our help, our guidance, our decisions, our paths, or whatever, if it's already ordained by the Lord, and we already know this is what it is, you're going to get weeds with a harvest. Don't be sorry and not pull out the weeds, man. It's a part of what comes of the harvest. So don't get mad at the weeds because this is a natural reaction to what life is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Rico, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
Hey, go ahead, man. I'm just listening right now.
Okay, good deal. So, Daria, what's on your heart?
I was listening to, the different scenarios. The one scenario that I can't think of his name right now. Forgive me, but he'll know who I'm talking about when he spoke about Cain and Abel. And I was, a lot of people don't really understand the principle of Cain and Abel because they both brought an offering before the Lord. One was accepted and one was not accepted. And many times people have asked me, well, why would God accept one's offering and then be not so happy about the other one's offering? And this is what we fail to look at. God can see what's in our heart when we offer it. Are we offering it out of love and because we feel that there's, having the spirit that God deserves our offering and our worship and our praise and he deserves that from us? Or are we giving it with a motive that I want his praise so I can look good? And so in the differences between the brothers, well, we already see that one had an evil heart because his solution to the problem was to kill his brother. So that was what God saw before it even happened. We gotta really look at the picture. We're talking about God. So he already saw that in him before he ever did what he did. And I'm talking about Cain. And he already saw Abel's heart before Abel gave his offering. So God already knew, and that's why he was not pleased with Cain, because he knew that Cain had the heart to kill. He was envious, he was jealous, and no matter what, he was going to have that same heart. And then he proved his heart by destroying his brother, and then saying, I'm not my brother's keeper. Well, obviously not, because you've taken his life. And then I was listening to, some of the other things that went forth when you talked about Job, and Friday brought out a good point with that. And so did Leonard. Job, it said from the beginning, he was perfect and upright. So a perfect man being upright, sitting upright in his spirit before God, no matter what happened, because he was already perfect in love, because that's the only thing we can be perfect in, is in that way, he wasn't going to curse God and die. He wasn't going to go against his creator. And God, when he allows us to experience certain things, it's only to further our perfection in him, not our perfection in ourselves. It's to further us being perfect in him and perfect like him in love. So we're taught that, we can't be perfect in the church. Well, God says, be ye perfect as my Father in heaven is also perfect. He tells us to be perfect. So every person created was created perfectly. We just are taught as we get older to do wrong things, not intentionally and sometimes intentionally. And so we work our way out of the perfection that we're born in. And then God is just saying, go back and be what I created you to be, which was perfect in the beginning. And that perfection is be perfect in love. Once you perfect that, then you're going to get everything else right. But until you perfect that, you're going to continue to make wrong choices. So I was just listening to those things, and those are the things that, you know, came to my heart about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We got another call. We're going to go to that call, and then on Friday we come to you. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Good morning. This is Bishop, Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Good morning, Bishop. How are you doing this morning?
The good Bishop.
Man, I'm blessed, brother. I am blessed.
Hey, Bishop, did you hear Leonard?
Yeah, hey, what's up, Leonard?
Good Bishop Gregory.
Look at, he said, I can't just say Bishop, I got to say the good Bishop. And so, hey, good morning.
They're
good
rare.
Bishop.
They're rare. Very rare. So
Yes, sir.
we must call him the good Bishop.
The good Bishop. Okay, good morning, good Bishop. How you doing, sir? And I want to ask you this question. Do you believe that help is on the way? Do you believe that help is on the way? Bishop, what do you say to that?
Give me a little bit better than that. Do I believe help is on the way?
Man, we go through trials and tribulations in our lives, man. We equated a little bit to Job a few minutes ago when he was going through the situations and the trials and tribulations that he was going through in his life. And if I were to ask Job during that time, do you believe help is on the way? Job, I in my heart of hearts, I believe Job would say yes. But do we all have that same? Do we all have that same desire? Do we all have that same love and confidence, faith and confidence in our Father, to know that regardless of what we're going through, help is on the way?
Well, I would say help is on the way. I forgot what group sung this song. It said, "Jesus is my help."
Don't you sing, Bishop? And, don't you sing, Bishop?
Wait a minute now. Now you know I can sing. Now you Bishop, stop playing. Now.
Bishop. Okay, we'll prove that next week. We'll prove that you can sing next week. Right now, let's just use your good talking voice.
I'm not laughing. Bishop. I'm not laughing.
Let's just use your good talking voice today, sir.
Next time all three of us get together, you know what we have to do, don't you? We're gonna have to baptize this time.
Lord, we'll prove you can sing next week, Bishop. We'll get to that one next week, one hurdle at a time, brother. One hurdle at a time.
Yes. Master Daria spoke very well, man. And I can say, as she was speaking, I can say amen to what she was saying, because that's the same thing I teach. Yes, help is on the way. And for those of us who are believers, and we know and understand through all our disappointing times, you know, change is going to come. And if you don't look and believe that there's going to be change, then that's where your faith leaves you void. Without faith, it's impossible to please the Lord. So you got to have the faith that things going to get better. And you just got to wait on it. It may not happen overnight. When you use Job as an example, out of all that he had was taken away from him, he did not curse God. As Daria said, Job was perfect and upright. He did the things that God expected for him to do, and then he offered up the sacrifices that were needed. But the devil figured, hey, you know, let me go ahead and do this to Job. You know, God, if you take this edge about him, I'll make him cuss you. But in spite of all that God had given him, he understood, Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away.
Yes.
Blessed be the name of the Lord. So when we go through things in life, and I'm a witness to it, it may not always feel good to the flesh, but you got to stand up and wait and hold on to God's unchanging hand, because God's gonna move. But a lot of times we go through stuff, it's just to make us strong.
Come on.
The book says this: after you suffer a while, never said how, by what means, of what individual, but after you suffer a while, he then makes you perfect. Not only does he make you perfect, he also establishes you, he strengthens you, and then he settles you. So when he strengthens you, he's giving you the strength to go through whatever you got to go through. He's establishing you. He's establishing you, but you ain't gonna be moved left to the right, because somebody say, man, if I were you, I'd go and cuss God. If I were you, man, I'd go back out there to the world. So him establish you that you ain't going nowhere. You like a tree planted by the river.
Yes.
You ain't gonna be moved. And you're going to always have the opposition of people coming to you, try to tear you and try to take you down and say all kind of stuff. Where your God at now? Somebody said it to me. When I was going through what I was going, where your God at now? I said, he's still there. I said, he's just making me. He told me I got to go through this. And I'm willing to go all the way. Not am I willing to go through this. I'm willing to go through whatever the Lord takes me to.
Come on.
Because we sing a song in the church, take me through, Lord, take me through while I'm on this tedious journey.
You just want to sing, don't you? You just want to sing this morning, don't you?
Come on, Bishop.
You just want to sing this morning, but you just want to say, look, I believe you got a song in your heart this morning, but we ain't gonna let you. We keep it right there in your heart right now. Don't let it go. Hold on to it. Let it make it help you carry you through this day, brother. Don't sing it. Let it hold on to it.
Hey, Leonard, you know how you always call everybody preacher? Oh, I think we got a preacher on the line, Leonard. Look at
That is a preacher. That is a preacher for sure. And you know what? When you were talking about that, Raheem, what the bishop was saying, this is the foundation and the therapeutic portion of African American preaching. It's always about uplifting, freedom, and salvation.
Yeah,
change. That's what makes it so attractive. Because even like if you think about Nat Turner's rebellion,
yes,
what inspired his rebellion was the book telling him that he was free. It was always in there.
Yeah,
but if if you couldn't read it, you didn't. That white man got the same. It say free. I should be free. Even Lincoln wrote, if I can subdue him simply by just putting myself before him and encouraging him to believe that I should be there, then doesn't he have just as much right to do that to me? And so we have to think about it this way. There's always a way for man to be saved. That's salvation. That's why God came to save you really from yourself.
Come on.
Because of what you will do in your own free will condemn your person, period. So you have to be saved a lot of times simply from yourself, not just the enemy on the outside. My mother was, like I said, grew up, was a church woman. I mean, she was a minister's wife, and she would meditate on those hymns. You know, while y'all sing the popular song there, she meditate on the hymn. She loved the popular, but she meditate on the hymn. Yield not to temptation. Not that you won't be tempted, but it's the yielding to it that makes it sin. And each victory that you have, and this is what the song says, each victory helps you to win the next one. And you got to fight courageously onward, subdue the dark passions, and you have to look to Jesus because he will carry you through. And that was what this song was about. So I would hear her humming these hymns, washing dishes, doing housework. You may just, what you humming? She gonna be humming a hymn just to keep her mind sometimes off other things. That was her meditation.
Wow.
See, a lot of people don't understand even the meditation part of Christianity, because then you try to, them Buddhists be over there meditating. Your Bible is full of so much meditation and mantra you would not believe. Meditate on these things as opposed to those things. You couldn't sway Job because Job stayed prayed up. Job was like faithful. I mean, think about it. The story says Job was perfect.
Yes.
Only person I have heard embrace perfection this way, I believe, is Bishop. That perfection thing. And what made Job perfect is the fact that he completely trusted God.
Yes, it did.
That's what made Job perfect. If anything else, it was that he completely trusted God regardless. He attributed all he had to his God. So he obviously had a relationship. What most people don't understand is Job was written before the majority of the books in the Bible. So man was standing and had a relationship with God long before them people y'all give credit for writing that Bible. The Bible is full of the stories of the people who had already did something. They had already did something. A lot of them stories about people that had already had relationships and people wrote about them. The Jews of today, they are very specific about the different the Tanakh and all these things and the prophets and what the prophets said, how we should conduct business with one another is another part of it, and things of that. Their entire lives are based around this doctrine.
Good deal. Good deal. Let me go to our Friday. 'Cause I know Friday got a lot on her heart right now. Friday, but let me go this route with you though. And Leonard just said something. He said a lot of times we have to get into a situation and we have to free our minds. If we believe that help is on the way, do we have to free our minds of some of the clutter and some of the things that we have in our mind and as well as our hearts in order for that help to get there?
We do, because we get into our own way when we don't. We will pray, and then instead of leaving it there, we'll take the prayer back down and start trying to do it ourselves, right? And that's seen in a lot of different ways. You know, we can talk about Abram and Sarai before they were transitioned to Abraham and Sarah, right? Because they received the promise, and then, you know, then they took it into their own hands, right? Sarah was like, take Hagar, and Abram was like, okay, if you say so, right? But, you know, but that's just one of many examples of us trying to take the promise into our own hands instead of just clearing our hearts and minds and just relying on what was said and spoken to us. And so we can go through, others that are more well-versed can pull out several like this, but that one just kind of stood out because my husband and I was talking about it this morning as it relates to marriage, but we just get into our own way when we don't clear our hearts and minds and fill ourselves with scriptures to reaffirm and to pray, and you know, and God showed us that even when he was in the wilderness, right? He, you know, there was fasting, praying, and authority. Those three things took place there, right? He fasted so that the body would be in submission to the spirit, and he prayed because he was being anchored into the word, showing us that because he was word living, but to show us that we have to stay in, you know, prayed up, because that anchors us. So then when the enemy comes, we can say, you trying to twist that up, player, it ain't gonna work over here. You know, and he tried to show him, oh, you can have all this, right? But then he was like, my father made all this, I already got it. So that's also operating. And so he cleared his mind of those things, because then what raises up is doubt. You know, we look at our self worth or self ability to do it, and then, you know, we start being overcome by all these different emotions that then separates us from that power and authority that we have, and we end up coming short of seeing the promise and the timing that it could have been had because we get in the way. So clearing our hearts and mind is very important, and clearing it from things that's not related to the word or the promise, which is being like, okay, God, I don't know when you didn't tell me. It came to a point that he did say, you know, when they came after Ishmael was born, you know, and God said, okay, look, in a year and a half or a year's time, correct me with that, those that are more scholarly in the word, and Sarah will have this child in a year's time, year and a half time when I come back, you know. So sometimes he gives us those time frames, but other times not. But just the same, we do have to just be like, okay, what did the word say? Let me focus on it. I'm not going to worry about, you know, all these other things, because that does clutter and cause doubt. And then when we start doubting, then we prohibit the promise from coming forth in its totality.
Exactly. Good. That's good. That's good. We got two other callers just called in. We got one from the 816 area code 816. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Kansas City, K with the E.
K with the E. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Just blessed in you.
Hey, doing well. Blessed as well, sis. We're asking a question. Do you believe that help is on the way? Do you believe that help is on the way? K, what do you say to that?
I've always believed help is on the way.
Regardless of what you're going through?
their help is always on the way. I mean, like you said, you gotta be in your word. So when you're in your word, you don't care what nobody else is telling you. Because you know help is on the way. And they be saying, how can you say that? I had to tell my friend Kwame, DJ that, to make the name for y'all. I had to tell DJ that. You gotta quit distracting all the time. Help is on the way. He just waiting on you to ask. Just ask. And I'm telling you, right there at the door. And she called me and said, guess what? And just told me some good news. I said, did I tell you help is on the way? You better pick your faith up.
Exactly.
Somewhere. I don't know where you got it, but you better pick it up and keep it.
There you
close
go.
to your heart somewhere.
Absolutely.
But I just don't. I used to be a worrier a lot. Like pray about it and still worry. Then I learned I ain't doing no good. So I pray if I'm still worried. I worry if I'm pray.
Exactly.
So I just pray and I don't worry. And I just thank God. I thank Him for that. Cause I ain't always felt like that.
Praise God. To God be the glory. Got another caller from the 443 area code. 443 area code. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Well, Ryan, it's Kurt, man. What's going on, Morning Glow family? How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good, brother. How you doing this morning?
I'm all right. I'm in there, hanging in there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Doing more than hanging in there, brother. You getting it done, man. Look here, we asking the question, man. Do you believe that help is on the way? Do you believe that help is on the way? Kurt, what do you say to that?
Man, I believe help has arrived, brother.
Come on.
Help has arrived, man. I mean, you know, I believe our people been taken through so much that honestly, the repayment of what we've gone through will never actually be fulfilled. But just paying attention to systems and policy and what's going on, you know, help has arrived, man. We just, you know, we got to find it in our heart to be tolerant, temperate, and patient. You know what I'm saying? This is the last part of that process, man. We just got to be tolerant, temperate, and patient, and hold on for the first time in a long time, for the first time in American history, I want to say, to fight back for what is right can't be overlooked, regardless to how you want to try and control the narrative. If it's right, it can't be overlooked, man. So I believe help has arrived, bro.
Exactly. That's good. That's good. So as a matter of fact, let me go to Toya with it here and hadn't touched her in a minute. Toya, what's on your heart, sis?
Yeah, you know what? As y'all talking, it made me think about when the Lord had me stop my stuff, right? Because I was in Brooklyn, right? And I did a lot of different things. But I remember the Lord telling me, He said, you know what? When you steal, when you sell drugs, when you do all that, do you understand that means you don't trust me and that I'm going to provide? You doing it yourself? And then when you get caught up out there, you're causing more issues. And the blessing you could have had, I got to work overtime because now you put yourself in a situation not trusting me in the first place. Now I got to work triple time when you get ready to come back and say, forgive me. And I had to ponder on that for a while. Hey, wow, Lord, no, I know you've been there. Even in some of the things I ain't had no business doing, I know you've been there. But what do I want to do with these blessings that you give me? When I started to acknowledge the fact of what He said, that means I don't trust Him, and decided to make a change. Then He went to the next level as far as showing me how I'm my own infiltration. I don't want to hear nothing about these white folks, girl. Let's talk about you. I don't want to hear nothing about that man, girl. Let's talk about you. What did you do what I told you to do, regardless of what everyone else is doing? So at the end of the day, God deals with us. It's like He knows what you need. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to say I was that Job. And a lot of people probably go, I don't feel like that Job because I'm not that rich. I'm not that this. But that's the first thing. You will have no idea how rich we are with people around us. It has nothing to do with money and Benzes and clothes. You rich with people around you, first and foremost. But not only that, the testing part. I know everybody feel like they've been through the testing part. But again, it takes me back to what I said. Now, Toya, if you know that you're stealing and you're lying and you're manipulating, if that means you don't trust me, If you look at the story of Job, who did everything he was supposed to do, what make you think you're not going to be tested? You know, so sometimes it's like I heard Linda say it earlier, sometimes you need help from yourself. And that's what the Lord had to reveal to me. When the last time you was molested? 9? Okay. What the problem is at 40? When the last time you did this, that, and that? Okay, well, what's the problem at 41? Well, when the last time, you know what I'm saying? So he started to show me that some of the things I was doing simply meant that I didn't trust him.
Yeah.
You don't need my help. You gonna do it yourself? Well, I'm staying over here then. You hold that down there and you don't need my help. Kind of like when we got these little baby kids and they be trying to do something, you be like, let me help you. They be like, no. You be like, all right, then go ahead. God do us the same way. But we got to remember, just like our parents, if we just trust them, we know we don't think that he knows more, but he does. We know that we think we run this thing and we the real God and ain't no God over us, but there is one and he knows.
Wow. Wow, that's good. That's good. Bishop, what's on your heart? Rico, come to you next. Bishop?
Well, I'm here, man. I'm enjoying the comments that are being made, and you know, this is what I call an eye opener to the reality of what we have to go through in life. I'm just ever thankful to God that He gave me enough hope in Him, and I understand Him. I understand His Word, and I understand His way, and there are expectations. And so Darius said it, Leonard said it, Toya said it. You know, I'm just, you know, just listening and enjoying the conversation where it is. So the conversation starts here, but where do we take it from here?
Yes.
Do I believe that, you know, hope, help is on the way? Do I have that faith that help is on the way? And that's what I think we do. We got to learn we walk by faith and not by sight.
Yes, sir.
So how in the world can you hope for something that you see? We already have it, or it's already, you know, accessible. So you got to wait. And like Job said, through all my disappointing time, I'm going to wait till my change comes.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
You know, judging off this conversation, I could tell that before everybody believe that help is on the way, which I'm one of them, I said the same thing because I believe if nobody else is the help, I am the help. When nobody else do it, I'm guaranteed that I'm going to be the one to help. So I know help is on the way. But I realize there has to be a certain amount of faith, a certain amount of belief and trust that help is on the way. And going by this conversation, you know, the broadcast today, you would think that everybody believes that help is on the way. But guess what? Everybody doesn't believe help is on the way. Those that's on the bottom feeders, the ones that's content to stay at the bottom of the totem pole. Sometimes they're content because they are hopeless. See, if you believe help is on the way, then you know hope has to be somewhere in front of that or behind it, close by. If you think help is on the way, then you might not have any hope. And a lot of people out here, you can tell they don't have any hope. You know, we've been what you call it, we have inherited trauma in our community. And so now we have a lot of people that really put all their faith in the only help we receiving coming from supernatural places, namely through religion or through God. Everybody's looking for that supernatural help, not realizing the most help you're going to get on this planet in your existence is from yourself. You're going to be your biggest impact. But we have been trying, you see, with that inherited trauma, at one point in time, no matter what you did, you wasn't going to get what you deserve. It was a waste of time. At one point in time, people in our community and our culture for hundreds of years felt like, man, what's the use? I'm black. They're going to treat us like this anyway. And we didn't have any help. We went begging to the people that were doing it to us to stop. Just have a heart. Just believe in God. Please stop doing us like this. Help us. Just treat us kindly. And so over time, there became a culture of accepting less than. Why you accepting less than? Why you believe that you can achieve these greater things? Well, I ain't going to be able to do it because you know the white folks ain't going to let us do this and that. The only way that's going to happen is if God comes down out the sky and give us equality and justice and judgment day, gets all these people, these demons that are doing us wrong. He straightens it out. We can't do it. We ain't going to never be able to do it. Losing hope, feeling helpless, hoping that really thinking the only way you can survive or that you can make it is through religion. But we got to reinforce people. We have to let people know through positive reinforcement that you have everything within you to be all the help that you need. You don't have to just wait and pray. Yeah, it's good to wait. It's good to pray. It's good to have that reinforcement from religion, from God. You need that reinforcement. But you also have to all remember that you have a power within you. You don't have to wait. You don't have to lose hope. But we have got to understand that when we mention those people that are at the bottom, with being at the bottom, the ones that have lost hope, we have to reinforce that and let them know. I ain't gonna say reinforce them. We have to reprogram that thought process and let them know there is hope, there is help. And even if you don't find it through religion, if you don't find it through meditation, if you don't find it through the Nation of Islam or through Christianity, you still got it within you. You have more power than you realize. I think in our community, I see it. I see more people willing to indulge in things that hurt themselves, but then will find every excuse and a reason to not fight the illnesses that come from those indulgences, things that they practice in. Then you find out, okay, you're trying to lose weight, you're having these health issues, this is what you got to do. I can't help it. I can't help it. You can help it more than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So, everybody was saying on here, this morning, I heard everybody say, yeah, I do think help is on the way, but believe it or not, there's a lot of people out there that don't think help is on the way. We got to understand there's a lot of hopeless people out there feeling like that.
And you're absolutely right. There are some people out there, and that's what I was saying when I said about people being content about being eating off the bottom of the barrel. That's just where they're happy at. But at the same time, I think that we all have a certain responsibility to reach out. We spoke a little bit briefly about, and we got a couple of calls. We're going to go to that call, a couple of calls too. But we spoke briefly about, am I my brother's keeper? I believe that. I believe, yes, we are. And we all have a responsibility to go out there and find the ones that are helpless and let them know that there is some hope.
But see, we have to be able to discern from the ones that are just being lazy also.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to consume, and they want to be lazy, so they don't want to make an effort. They just want to wait on a miracle.
There's a big daddy Laughing I used to be with us all the time. He said this thing a while back, a couple of years ago. He said it, and he said it, and I said, man, say that again. And he said givers have to set limitations because takers don't have any. He said givers have to set limitation because takers don't have any, because the taker's going to continue to take and take and take until you don't have anything else to give. Then they're going to move on to the next person and continue that process. And so you're absolutely right. You have to understand, who it is that's in front of you. You have to understand who it is that's in front of you. And once you recognize and understand who it is in front of you, then that will govern you. That's where discernment have to come in, and that will govern you as to what you have to do and how you have to help that person, or if you can help them at all.
Even if they have to identify with themselves, look, it's not I can't do it. It's just being lazy. Some people don't even understand it's not they're afraid or that they feel like they can do it. They're just too lazy to make the effort, to make the attempt.
Absolutely.
But they don't want it. They want that handout. They want that miracle. They want somebody to just come pick them up. But I always tell people, lead a horse or a cow to water, but you can't make them drink.
Absolutely. Let me do this. I'm going to go to Donna Tucson. Donna, you still with us?
Yeah, I'm just with her.
Yeah, what's on your heart, brother? Then we're going to go to the phone line. Caller, we coming to you next. What's on your heart, Donna?
I was just thinking about this Job thing. That before, why would I don't even understand. Yes, I do. There's a relationship with how Satan and God, that he will move his hand or his hedge from around you because he knows what you're going to do in the first place. See, it wasn't a test for God in Job. It was a test for Job to see where he was. And he knew it at the beginning. Because who loses what all they have and blesses God? We usually curse him. That's what Satan intended for him to do in the first place. But you see, the only thing it's your trials, I believe, and everything that you go through is not about you. is about the person that comes behind you
Mm-hmm.
to let them know that they can make it too.
Exactly. Exactly.
You hear what I'm
That's
saying?
good. That's good.
And Job is the type of example that I use when I'm going through trouble, because I go through something sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's surprising when you go through something, somebody looks to see what's in your closet, because he must have done something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say I don't worry about people and their opinions. God brings us through tests in life to see where we are, to see if we're going to stand in the midst of our trials.
Mm-hmm.
And if we do, that's the perfect example to let people know that sure enough, if I can make it, you can make it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, that's the help that we have. The examples we leave in life, the footprints we leave in life, enables the ones that come behind us to see that it can work out. I'm just saying.
Exactly. We got a couple of callers. We're gonna go to those callers. Let me. I think the next call on the docket is my brother Pete. Pete, you there?
Over here somewhere. How y'all doing?
What's going on? How you doing this morning, sir?
Doing good.
We're talking about, do you believe?
I got the topic. I got you.
Come on.
Speed up and get out the way.
Let's do it.
Because I don't want to be early for tomorrow and late for today.
Yes, sir.
Within ourselves, each and every individual one, is help on the way. Well, do you believe first? What is your reaction? What is coming out from you? Because all of this Jesus, Muhammad, spirituality, it ain't real if you don't believe it. It's not real. It's not effective if you don't do something to make this real to you. It can be very real, but what are you doing so that it applies, so that it becomes, so that it's effective in your life? God ain't gonna crush you and make you serve him. Allah ain't gonna do that, or whoever else is out there with all the forms. Come on. It starts with us. Help is on the way if you doing what you should do to help yourself. Meaning what? Utilizing the abilities, the intellectual properties that exist within you. Now, I'm not discrediting the spirituality. What I'm saying is, if you don't apply yourself to it, then it's ineffective to you. It's ineffective to you. So, yes, help is on the way. If you're doing what you should do to help yourself. Are you going to lay there and die? Or are you going to get up? Help is on the way then. If you get up, help is on the way. Now, if you just lay there, sooner or later, the ants might start to chew on you. Come on, while you sleep, a wolf might come get you. Because you're laying there. A snake might bite you. Get up. So help is on the way if we're doing what we need to do first to help ourselves. If you believe in God, you seek after God, you're obedient to what's coming to you and what you're reading and what's said to you, you're admonishing and the premises of correction, the standards and the structure, then help is on the way. It just gets better and better and better and better. Sure, it's going to go left and right, up and down, in and out, right and wrong. But guess what? If you keep doing what you should do, help is on the way.
Yes, sir.
So what are you doing? If I believe everybody is evil and I hate everybody and I want to kill the world, guess what? That's where it is with me. But now if I believe that we should do just the opposite, we're going to have these situations and whatever, we're going to make it through. We just got to stay consistent.
Yes.
We just got to, stay on mission. We're going to do it this way. We're going to give them a chance. We're going to give them a second chance. Come on. Help is on the way. What you doing?
Exactly.
What do you believe?
Exactly. That's good. That's good.
All right. I'm back outside.
Good deal. We got 803. I think that's Sherelle. Sherelle, you with us?
Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing this morning, young lady?
I'm well.
Good deal. Do you believe that help is on the way?
Absolutely. As long as you're doing your part. Absolutely.
That's good. That's good. And I see all the time, man, God will provide for the birds in the tree, but he's not going to drop it in the nest. That bird got to get out of that, get out of that nest, go out there and get it. But God will provide everything you need, but you got to go out there and get it. That's absolutely good. Sherelle, what else is on your heart, sis?
I'm left and I'm having a good day. Hope you guys are too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Captain Leonard, talk to me, brother.
You know me. I'm the one that'll really make you turn your face up when it comes to that such situation. Don't come to me talking about what you can't do if you ain't trying. I don't want to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, excuse yourself, because we don't allow them type of weak people to be around us.
Yeah,
because they bring everybody else down.
That energy, brother. The energy is terrible.
That is so horrible. And think about it. If you go into some places, you can run into a bunch of them standing around on the corner, standing in front of the stove. You know, it was called hopelessness.
Mm-hmm.
And the various essays and things like that have been put forth about the conditions in the African American community, and they referred to us as just ghettos full of hopelessness.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, can't be, because I'm 48601. That's my zip code.
Mm-hmm.
You look at it in the average income and everything like that, I guarantee you, I trust more than half these people I trust that live in Beverly Hills.
Mm-hmm.
But see, that's the way we're cultured. We're taught not to value people unless they got something, not valuing them for the human beings that they are. I don't look down on people because they're not doing what they think you ought to be doing or what I ought to be doing. I don't look down on people who may not be Christians and things of that. I was not taught to look down on the bum in the streets and things of that nature. So when I think about, you know, how aggravated I get when I was like, all I hear is rich people talking about being poor. That is such a disgrace.
Yeah.
That is such a disgrace. To be sitting here with all this you got, but yet you out there talking about you a slave.
Len, I'm gonna tell you something, and you know, Michael Jackson, some of his music has some real interesting things in it. But he said, and I think it was Billie Jean. He said, "Don't let the lie become the truth. Don't let the lie become the truth." And so, and that's what I would say to one of those rich folks. You keep talking about I'm broke. Well, sometimes your lie might become your truth. You might want to stop saying that. Friday, what's on your heart? Friday, you there?
I'm here. I was just thinking as I was listening to everything and everybody, a couple different things came to my heart, and I'm just like, ooh, what do I want to? Ooh, because I don't want to take it all over the place, but but I'll try to tie them both together, and you know, all support is welcome to try to help me articulate this thought process. But you know, sometimes we get caught up. We've gotten better. I've witnessed that people as a whole have gotten better in moving away from calling the fruit of the tree of knowledge that was eaten an apple, because it never said that. And for a long time that was being called that. And then we got away from that, which was good. And, but even more so, we're moving into understanding that the fruit is anything that we partake in that takes us away from what God said for us to do. And I think that was mentioned earlier. What did I say? God is like, what did I say? Right? Because when they wanted to blame the serpent and blame God, the wife you gave me, the wife blaming the serpent. But each one of those are examples of just a call out for us to have reflection to say, well, we know what God said. Did we do what he said? Right? And so he said not to eat of the tree, right? So then now we have this inherent understanding of good and evil. But even now for the choice, right? Are we choosing what God said? Are we applying in our lives what God said versus focusing on or giving more energy into all the things that he told us not to worry about? even to the point that he even says, you know, when he goes over, when the scripture elaborates about, you know, the example of how we pray, you know, it's like, put the kingdom first, put what God says first, and all these other things will be added unto you. You know, your heart's desire will be added because it would be in an alignment. And so everything that was desired or could be had was there in the garden. And then this is the journey that we're on now for our individual lives and to be a helper to other people in their lives, is, are we abiding by what God said? Because those things, right, the fruits of the Spirit, there's no laws to that. And if we can live, you know, if we want to live lawless, let's live lawless in those things, right? Because there's no laws about loving one another and being kind, and that, and if we're having self-control and things of that nature, and if we're individually doing those things collectively, then life is better for everybody, because we are helping one another, we are helping ourselves by being in alignment. And that's the journey, you know, that's the journey, and I think we're getting closer to that. And then the other thing that I wanted to say that came to my spirit while everybody was talking is, like, it's so interesting to me how there's nothing new under the sun. And I'm gonna take this to this place, and where in the Bible, when I step back and I look at some of the stories, all the people in their lives and their day-to-day that they were going through, when they were waiting for Jesus to be born, they had heard of a Savior that was coming, and, you know, this help that was coming. But even when he arrived, right, they still had to wait. They had to wait 33 years, you know, well, 30, and then for him to, you know, fully arrive, 33 for it to fully come into full fruition where he said, it is finished. But in that time frame of waiting for Jesus to do what he was told and been given instructions to do, people, the help was there, but they were still like awaiting. And even when the help arrived, it wasn't necessarily in the way that maybe some of them thought it would be, because they wanted headships to be overthrown and they wanted all these different things. But what he showed us and was different, and he was showing us how the help was in the word, and if we apply the word, if we believe. And then likewise, as we're waiting for the second coming, we're in that same place of those people that were waiting for Jesus to even be born. And even once he was born, they had to wait for him to mature. And even once he matured, they were still like this waiting, but the help was there, and the help was shown, and the help was given. And right. And so we're in this, you know, nothing new under the sun. For the second coming, we're saying, Jesus, when you coming back, Lord, when you show up, God, when you come back, I know you about to, right? And I'm sure it's some of the same emotions that they had then, but where we are, what makes us so special is that we can reflect back on what was already done and apply it with examples to know that, you know, we are capable, which was said in many different ways, because we all have our own way of how we came into relationship with God that has been expressed today. And so if we're doing the thing.
Look at, all right, preacher, we got to move on now, preacher. All right.
I'm sorry. I'm just, but if we worry less about we know that the sex of the fruit is there because it's partake, but if we stop partaking into that more than the word and applying the word, then we'll find that despite having that the truth will then.
Okay.
Oh. Sorry about that. So that's going to carry us through, and then that's where we're going to find Eden again. I think that's where I was trying to go with it. I was distracted because my phone rang. I'm sorry, but that's all I got.
Good deal. So Daria, what's on your heart, sis?
Hey, I was really focusing on how we sometimes believe that we have to be doing something for the help to be activated. And the reason I was focusing on that is because when I got COVID and I was in a coma for 40 days, I wasn't doing anything because I was in a coma. But yet I was brought through that situation, but I wasn't doing anything. So sometimes there are periods of time that God wants us to do nothing other than depend on Him. So the metaphor for that for me was me being in a coma, because all I could do, even not even conscious of doing it, is depend on Him to come out of that coma. There was nothing anyone could do. You know, even in hospitals, doctors don't know how to make people come out of comas. So when you're in a situation like that, it's all about God. And there are situations sometimes in our life, yes, waiting means not just sitting still doing nothing, but sometimes waiting means sitting still doing nothing. So when we look at, if you look up the word wait, it generally talks about waiting with an anticipation of something, meaning that you're doing something for what you anticipate. But then there's a waiting where God says, wait, I say again, wait. There's a waiting that God means, I'm telling you, don't do anything. Just wait for me to tell you what to do, and then walk in it. Sometimes we busy. Well, if I put my hand over here, let me see what God's going to do. Well, if I put my hand over here, let me see what God's going to do. Well, we haven't got the instruction first. And we put in our hands in all these pots and they're failing. And then it makes us questionable to God's ability in our life. So I wanted to use the fact of me being in a coma for 40 days. I didn't do nothing. I don't know who was praying. I don't know what was said. I don't know what medicines they gave me. I was in a coma. But when I came out of the coma, then there were things that I had to begin to do to be able to walk, to be able to talk, to be able to move my hands and legs and things of that nature. But for 40 days, I was in a coma. So God was taking care of me. I wasn't doing anything. So that's just a metaphor for us in life. There are periods where God allows us to be. Job wasn't doing nothing. He was just waiting.
Exactly.
He wasn't doing nothing. They didn't say that Job started trying to do this and do that. No, he was just waiting for God's deliverance. So that's what I want to share.
We got 3 minutes. I'm gonna try to go around and touch as many people as I can. Keep everything as brief as you can. I'm gonna touch some people. Like I said, we got 3 minutes before we get out of here. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
I agree with everything everybody was saying. You know, sometimes you have the ability to make an effort, but the universe or God or whoever you want to refer to it will tell you, like she said, don't make that effort, just wait. Like a vengeance. You want to get revenge, when you want to retaliate, when you want karma to do what it does. It is good for you to sit and wait, sit on your hands.
Exactly.
You
Bishop,
can make the effort.
I'm sorry. Exactly. I'm sorry. No. Finish your thought, brother.
Oh, but without on the other end of that, you have times that you have to still make some type of effort to prepare. You know, I saw that documentary about the guy that had the metal lung. And this man, the only thing he has to operate on his body is his head. I mean, Toya mentioned that earlier about the woman that didn't have any arms. This man, the only thing he could use was his mouth. His whole entire body from the neck down might as well not exist. And this man went and got law degrees. He's written 7 books. He still utilizes his brain. Yeah, he might be waiting on some kind of help, and then some help he know ain't gonna never correct what's going on. But he still made an effort with what he was blessed with. That effort.
Absolutely. Bishop, you there?
Yes, I'm here, man. My closing remarks is, man, I thank God for you and this platform.
Praise God.
Conversation that you present and the intelligence of the panel is able to come back and be able to discuss it in general or as a total. So I really appreciate you and everyone who has, made a comment that also allows us to open up our eyes to the reality of the Almighty. So thank you, Raheem.
Thank you. Definitely appreciate it. To God be the glory. Friday, anything on your heart for you? I know you got to get out of here, sis. Anything on your heart?
I want to echo the thank yous. Thank you for allowing me to share today. Thank you for everybody sharing. That really has gave me different and new perspectives that I can then now go home and digest and just even look at how that's how I'm filtering the world and giving me perspective through that way. So thank you. And I hope that all of the broadcasters that are or the listeners to this broadcast presently and rebroadcast has the same type of takeaway, to be able to just be able to allow those words to help filter how we see things a little bit different, to get us closer to being more perfect in love. So again, thank you, and thank everybody else for sharing their hearts today.
Thank you. I definitely appreciate you, sister, and come back. You're more than welcome to come back. You got a seat at the table now. Toy, you want a tea? What's on your heart, sis?
Well, you already know. As usual, great topic, great conversation. Everybody on the panel, man, definitely the feedback, I believe, is breaking yokes, man, and helping, not only bring people closer to the Lord, but definitely open up their eyes for them to just be bold when it comes to speaking to the Lord, man. So I appreciate y'all. Love y'all so much, man. Great job. Great show. Can't wait till tomorrow. And let's do it again.
Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Brother Pete, you still with us? Might have lost Pete. Donald Toussaint, you still there, sir?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
Look, I was thinking about I don't know if it was the lepers or whatever. They said, if we sit here, we're going to die. If we go, we're going to die. Make a choice. What do you have to lose? You can get up. Stop being like Harry Hippie and help yourself.
Did you just quote Harry Hippie?
I don't know.
Good deal. I'm trying to see who all I got still left on the phone lines here. I can't tell. They got this new system. Who else is on the phone line that I have not addressed? Who else is there?
I'm not right.
Man, you are.
K with the E.
K with the E. What's on your heart, sis?
I just been listening and thinking, and I was like, let me get these 3 minutes in real quick.
3 minutes?
You gotta think about it. It's help on the way. Well, they sent help when they gave people all that money with that unemployment, all that stimulus. Now that they're getting ready to do this reparation thing, they're gonna put stimulations on how you get it and what you have to do with it, because they showed them what they were gonna do. And that was a trial run. Yeah, help is definitely on the way in a big way. So how you gonna get it and what you're gonna do with it is what you need to be doing, thinking about now. But it's definitely on the way.
Absolutely. Anybody else on the phone line?
Yeah, what up, bro?
Yeah, who we got there?
It's Kurt, man.
Kurt, there you go. There you go. What's on your heart, brother? Talk to me. Kurt, give me the quick words, man. Don't you talk no 20 minutes.
Okay.
Somebody said okay. Somebody said okay, Kurt. Somebody said okay.
I heard the facetiousness, but it's okay.
Kurt, hold on, brother. Hold on, brother. Let me. What school you went to, man?
What do you mean? What school I went to?
Them big 18 and 24 letter words, man. Hold on. What school you went to?
See, now you're taking up more of my time, man. Get off my time.
Go ahead.
No, for real, man. I'll just say this, man. Help has arrived. The wait is progress. And I just think about, two people in the Bible. One, the lady who understood that she didn't have to have Joshua say to her, "You healed." She knew that she just needed to wait because she wouldn't be able to get close enough, but she needed to wait so that she could get close enough to touch the hem of his garment, and she knew she was healed. I think about her, and I think about the man who was an invalid, and he knew that he couldn't get close enough to God, but he waited on God, and as a result of waiting, his friends climbed to the top of the building and ripped the roof open. And when they lowered him down, he was lowered down right at the feet of God. So help has arrived. All we got to do is just be patient and wait on God to move with the help that we need, man. I love y'all, man. I'll holler at y'all later.
Hey, love you as well, brother. Bishop.
Yes, sir.
What's on your heart, brother?
Hey, man. To God be the glory.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's it. That's it.
I hadn't heard Leonard, so I got to hear Leonard before we get about here. That's my ear button.
The ear button.
You know it.
Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Oh, you got me one time. I was wondering whether Sherelle still on the line. I think you got Sherelle out.
No, I think Sherelle hung up. Sherelle, you still there? I know she's at work. I know she's at work. Yeah, I figured. Yeah, she.
I think that's it. That's it. You know, like peace, love, and hair grease.
Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
Man, it was a good show. And if you did not get a chance to hear this show in its entirety, you can log on to www.dkmmediagroup.com. And I just want to remind people that something I came across in some quotations this morning. My goal is not to be better than anyone else, but to be better than I used to be.
Yes, sir. That's good. That's good. Say that one more time, Leonard, just for the people in the cheap seat. Say it a little louder this time.
My goal is not to be better than anyone else, but to be better than I used to be.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's good. Sidario, can I get you to pray us out, sis?
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. You guys are always a blessing. Lord, we thank you for this opportunity to share the things that you have given us in our hearts and in our minds and in our understanding with others and one to another. We pray that we all can take something away and also have something to give to someone in need. That's what we were talking about, service and giving and help being on the way. Let us realize that we are someone's help. And in the same token, Father, those of us who are seeking help, I pray that you send the help that is needed. Bless this program, that it continue, and that it continue to be a blessing to all that hear. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. If you get an opportunity, please share the broadcast. Share the broadcast one more time. Share this broadcast. Somebody need to hear what we talked about today. So make sure you share this broadcast. It is now 10:07. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. Now we shine some of this light in you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in and let your light so shine. And if you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Take care of each other. Love you and have a great day.